Superpowers for good, shaping the fate. Investors and dreamers open the gate. Supercross stands loud, proud, and true, building tomorrow for me and you.
Welcome, everyone. We are so fortunate today. We have Jack Jokinen, the author of A Stray Dog Came Into My House, here with us. And you're just going to love this. You just don't scroll on by here. You want to hear every minute of this conversation today. Jack, welcome to the show. We're thrilled to have you.
Thanks for having me, Devin. I'm really excited to be here and talk about superpowers and a stray dog for Christmas.
Yeah, I apologize. I got the name of the book wrong. Tell us again. Shout it out loud and proud.
A Stray Dog for Christmas: How Suzy Found Her Forever Home.
Yeah, and it is just a great story. I want to jump into that quickly here. Part of what inspired this book is the viral video about this story. So I want to play this short viral video, and we could talk about it a little bit, but let's let this introduce the story.
15, a injured, malnourished dog limped into our house. This morning at 4 a.m., my wife woke me up and said, our baby's fine, our 1-month-old is fine, but there was a puppy in our house. I'm so confused. I get up, I go downstairs, and there was a puppy in our house. The front door is locked, the back door is locked, windows are locked. Kind of this mystery puppy in our house. How did this happen? I checked security footage, and it looks like me just being a tired dad with a 1-month-old. When I came in from walking the dog, I closed the door. We called animal control first thing in the morning, and they said, you can come in, surrender it, and it kind of goes into the system. Our other option was to go to vet. We went to the vet, checked, there's no chip. This dog is in such bad shape. Infected paws. One tooth is pointing outwards. It's causing swelling in her face. Mental scarring around whatever's gone on with her. I wonder what happened to her to get her here.
It's okay. It's okay, Suzy.
We've decided to keep the dog. She's 9 years old, and we're gonna give her a dignified life. Jack and Joey and George and Susie here to give you a Susie pup date. We've had Susie for a week. It was a week ago that she came into our lives. We've watched her gain weight and get healthier.
Well, we gotta fatten you up.
We went on our first walk this week. Susie is becoming a part of the family very quickly and getting along with George. They hang out, they're getting closer to each other. She's moving around a lot better with the antibiotics and the ointments that we're treating her infected paws with. She walks a lot more on 4 legs. She even tried to jump over the back of the couch yesterday. She's got a lot of spunk in her. Most importantly, I want to thank Steve.
Hey guys.
This is Steve. He closed my door. My family was exposed and he closed my door. He trapped Susie in the house. I'm gonna buy this guy so many beers. Of all the bad things that could happen when your front door is left open, to end up with a sweet dog who just needs a good home. I mean, wow.
That is so cool. What a great story. What a great story. So, Jack, my first question is Susie still alive?
Yep, Suzy is laying next to me. I'll probably throw off the whole thing if I move the camera, but yeah, she's laying next to me. She's with me pretty much all day, every day. I work from home, so she just kind of, since day one, has just followed me around. If If I go out of the house at one door and come in another, she has no idea how it happened because she's by the door I left waiting for me.
Yeah. And did you buy some beers for Steve?
I took Steve out to a nice dinner, bought him some drinks. We hung out a couple of times. He doesn't live in the area anymore, but he's doing well. He lives in, I believe, Minneapolis now. We're still friends online. I got to get him a copy of the book once I get, my author copies.
Yeah, that's great. Well, tell us a little bit about what it's been like since this happened about 4 years ago, right?
Yep. Yeah. So, it was
But
December of 2019. December 14th, my first daughter was born November 14th. So it was literally 1 month, have a 1-month-old, just kind of a tired dad. And all of a sudden this thing happens, this life-changing event happens, and spend a week on the news. By Saturday night, ABC was at our house, Fox was at our house, CBS the next day, NBC the day after that, cover of the Daily News. And it was just kind of this 1 week news cycle of being this huge story and hearing from people who you don't hear from, since high school, because they're somewhere and they see it on the news. And one thing that's not covered in the video and it's not covered in the book, and we'll, hopefully find another way to tell it, is that the internet was so generous. So when Suzy happened, it's, 4 a.m. I tweet about it. Pat McAfee retweets it. Randy Scott from SportsCenter retweets it, that, I found this dog. I give updates throughout the morning. And then by 11 a.m., we're back home from the vet. I make a 2-minute, 20-second video just to give, summarize all these tweets. A bunch of people had asked for my Venmo, said we're going to need help with medical bills. I didn't know how much the medical bills would be. And we ended up getting about $42,000. We took care of Suzy. She had 19 teeth that had to be removed, infections in all 4 paws. She has a heart murmur, so she gets regular echocardiograms. She's on a couple heart medications, but we didn't need $42,000. So what we started doing, because when Suzy happened on a Saturday, by Monday, someone went and adopted a dog because they saw our story. And then Tuesday, someone adopted a dog. So we started sharing them on Suzy's Instagram. And about the time we were 6 months in, we were at like 95, 96 adoptions we had inspired. And we knew Suzy was going to be okay. We knew we had excess money. We knew we were inspiring adoption. So I said, at 100, I have an announcement. And we started giving the money away. So we just did $100 to help offset the cost of adoption. You can't rescue an animal for only $100, but it'll help soften the landing. And we were able to do 366 adoptions in 366 days because it was a leap year, and really make an impact. I didn't grow up a dog person, but now we have families who have gotten their first dogs, and they have kids who will get dogs. And we've from a kind of ripple effect, butterfly effect. We've changed a lot of lives. We've saved a lot of lives. And it's something that, myself and my family were really proud of.
Well, it is such amazing work that you've been able to do out of this really extraordinary circumstance. And so as you think about the experience you've had, tell us a little bit about Suzy and her personality and her experience with you over the last few years. She's getting to be kind of an old dog.
Yeah. And, they estimated that she was about 9 years old, just based on her body, her physical shape. We didn't know where she came from. It's funny. We lived in Philadelphia. We now live across the river in New Jersey. But the best hint we have for where Suzy came from is because it was all over the news, and postal workers were talking about it in the post office. And then our mail lady said, "Oh, well, they're on my route. Nice couple. They just had a baby. Like, I know them." And someone said, "I think I saw that dog with a homeless person, like tied to a shopping cart on one of the main streets in Philly a while ago." So that's as close as we've gotten to where she came from right before us. But we do believe she had a family at some point. She took to commands very quickly. She's very good with our kids. We have now a 4-year-old. The baby in that video is almost 5 years old. We've had another daughter since then. Having toddlers around a dog can always be interesting. They don't always know their own strength. And Suzy's just been amazing with them. She has been a great addition to our family. She gets along so well with George. And she continues to help, inspire people every day by just, getting up and living. And, she fought to survive and to find a place to to be safe. And I think it could be inspiring to anybody.
Well, yeah. And she's got a little bit of a situation with her teeth. What has happened? Is there such a thing as a dog dentist? How's she doing in that regard? What is her diet like?
So she eats a not too special of a diet. She eats dog food. We have to soften it up at first when she had the teeth removed. Now she pretty much woofs it down. We've got toddlers, so she eats a fair amount of stuff that's under high chairs for years and things like that to get some additional food. But we also kind of feed our dogs some human food. If we make burgers, we'll make them a burger. Try to mix it up a little bit for them. She did have to have 19 teeth and roots removed between broken teeth that were infected. There's not a dentist. It's the same. It's the vet. We did an echocardiogram to make sure that she'd be okay to go under. And then she went under for, about an hour or so while they removed the teeth. She had some pain medicine for after, but she rebounded really quickly. We were really proud of how quickly she was able to rebound.
Now that is so cool. It's fun to see the resilience of a dog that's been through so much. So you've written a story now. The story is written in the form of a children's book, right?
Yep, it's a children's picture book.
And you've been kind of sharing this with schools. Tell us a little bit about the book. If you want, grab it there and show it to us up close.
So this is the very first copy. I actually just got it. I got to learn how to use the camera. But it's a great book. I work with source books on it. You can see some of the visuals here showing Suzy just peeking into the house. And really immediately when Suzy happened is kind of how I describe it. Suzy happened. A lot of people said this would be a great story. This would be a great children's book. This would be a great movie. I had a production company reach out the week of asking to buy the rights to the story. What we decided to do was not do any of that. Wait a year. Let's focus on saving Suzy. Let's focus on saving other dogs. On the 1-year anniversary of Suzy, I did an Instagram Q&A. People asked about a book, and I really just said, I need an agent, I guess. I don't know. I'm just kind of piecing it together. I'm just a guy trying to figure it out. And ended up signing with Serendipity Literature, who was able to help me connect with source books. And really, it's been a very fun experience learning an entire other industry, working through edits. And now I get the opportunity to speak at schools. I believe, I have young kids. I believe that making kids feel special and important and that they can do anything it is really important, because I don't think anyone, when I was a kid, thought I would be writing children's books. And here I am, because I worked hard at it for a few years. So I have had the opportunity to start speaking at schools, which has been great. We show that video and kids have so many questions. So it's been really exciting, anywhere from just, reading the book to kindergartners to talking about the process of creating a book to like 4th, 5th, 6th graders.
Yeah, it's really, really amazing. I congratulate you on all of this, especially for having the kind heart required to invite the stray dog that's miraculously shown up in your living room to stay. So
it could have been a lot worse. That's the way I look at it. When this happened, there was no other option than what has happened. It was the only path forward. I'm very fortunate because I left my door open. I messed up. I was tired. I'm okay with it now. I did beat myself up for a long time about it. And I wanted to turn something that could have been very negative into something that's very positive, something my daughters will get to look back at. My youngest is in a book. If we sell a lot of books, I get to write another one. My other daughter, it'll save me money on therapy down the line, if only once in a book. And then really we just try to inspire them to be good. If your family runs 5Ks, you grow up to run 5Ks. If your family grows up to try to help others, odds are you're going to grow up to try to help others. So, that's just what we're trying to do.
That's a great message. Well, listen, everyone, we're here with Jack Jokinen. He's the author of A Stray Dog for Christmas, a new book that's just out. We're excited to share it with you and excited to talk to him. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk to Jack about his superpower. You don't want to miss this, so stick around.
You can get in on the ground floor to help fix the climate crisis for as little as $100. Pause now to scan the QR code to get started or visit s4g.biz/raisegreen. You can beat a green at Raise Green.
Want to learn from the world's great change makers? Find your superpower. Subscribe to the Superpowers for Good newsletter at superpowersforgood.com. Make your strengths into superpowers that will change the world. Join the super crowd today. Superpowers4good.com.
Hope to raise money from the impact crowd. Good investors are as interested in community, social or environmental impact as you. Connect with Funding Hope, an SEC-registered FINRA member crowdfunding portal to learn how to raise capital from the impact crowd. Scan the QR code now.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here today with Jack Jokinen. He's the author of A Stray Dog for Christmas, a book you've got to get for Christmas this year, especially if you've got kids. And we're going to shift gears and talk to him a little bit about his superpower. So stick around. You don't want to miss this part of the conversation. Jack, this is really just a fun, amazing, beautiful story. Touches everyone who sees it. And I'm excited to see the book come out. What is your superpower?
So it's such a tough question. I think my superpower, I would say, is empathy. Early in my career, which I have a whole other career that's, not writing children's books, I had the opportunity to work with a company that did change management and did it in a cool visual way. And they drew a silhouette of Bart Simpson. And they said, give descriptors and troublemaker, brat, all the things you think of Bart Simpson. But then we really started to look at what does he see every day? What does he hear every day? What's he saying every day? And, it's a father who drinks, he's getting yelled at school. And it really shifted from troublemaker to someone who's in trouble. And it really changed my life. It changed the way I interact with people, changed the way I view other people. And I think it changed the way I was able to, just approach life on a day-to-day basis. And have better interactions with people, see more of the world, have a better understanding of how people operate. So I'm very fortunate that I had that experience that really, I think, gave me my superpower that's helped me in so many ways over the last, I want to say 15 years.
Yeah, but that Bart Simpson story really powerfully illustrates how you learned that. And of course, I would argue that your story of Suzy is a great example of that. I wonder, can you give us an example of a time when you've used your empathy to help a person or relate to a person that might have been difficult otherwise?
I think I do it every day. So my day-to-day job is I'm a customer success manager at a tech company. So nobody calls me to tell me how great what we do is. It's always hey, this is what's wrong. This is why you guys are a problem. It's really putting out a lot of fires. And I'm really able to use it every day because, when someone's having poor interaction with you, they're talking to you a way that you don't want to be talked to. You got to try to think of how did they get to this point? Why are they really upset with you? Or do they have a boss who's upset with them? Is it just a trickle down effect that you happen to be at the bottom of? And if you have empathy and you have that in your heart and you approach life every day thinking about that, you're able to analyze situations a lot better, think about what's motivating people, and then help figure out the best path for them, which ends up being the best path for you, and the greatest amount of good for the greatest amount of people.
Yeah, that's really powerful. Yeah, I'm not always proud of the way I talk to the customer service folks. I try hard. I try really hard, but there are times. So I can only imagine how hard your job is. I hope and pray I'm not the worst customer that ever contacts, but I also think that means I can imagine how tough your job gets. As you think about your empathy, you gave us a really, I think, helpful kickoff to this part of the discussion with your Bart Simpson narrative. But if you were trying to coach your girls, and they're young, right?
Yep.
To learn empathy, how would you coach them to develop the kind of empathy that empowers you?
Man, I'm trying to figure out potty training. But I really think it is not something that, in their case, I can just teach. I think it's got to be the way I live, the way my wife lives. And, to a certain extent, as they get into situations in life, whether it be, someone wasn't nice to them at daycare, someone took a toy, we try to start early with it. Like, well, why did that happen? Let's talk through it. What was going on? Were they having a bad day? Were they cranky the whole day? And then, trying to get them to a point where they understand that every interaction that you have isn't just that interaction. It's a culmination of every interaction that's happened before you on the other side and every interaction that you've had before coming to that point, which will then lead to more interactions. So I think if we just kind of talk through things with them, show them how we look at situations, it's a good way to help, refocus and reframe and, just think about how lucky we are to be, to be alive, to be, going to school, employed, doing this book, all the things that come with that, and just try to teach them to be appreciative. And I think when you're appreciative, empathy comes with it.
Yeah. They just great counsel. You talk about trying to see others, having that bad day. And I think, let's be real, right? It's no different for adults than it is for your kids, right? It's absolutely the same. We have the same exact tendency to ignore the context in our own lives and in other people's lives. And so we, what is it? What do they call it? There's a name for it. I'm forgetting it, but there's a tendency we all have to excuse our own bad behavior and to assume really bad motivations in others. And it's hard to overcome that, right? He yelled at me. He's a jerk. I yelled at him. That's just because I was having a bad day.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it was totally justified.
Sometimes you get a nasty email from someone and you've just got to write the nasty email back and not hit send and go for a walk, come back. You'll probably delete it and write it short because you take that time to think about what they're going through and why they did that. And, you'll come out being the bigger person. You'll come out having hopefully changed someone's mood. Someone, if they're in a bad place, they need help getting it. We all need help every day. And so, like I said, it's just all the interactions you've ever had in your life leading up to that moment. And then you'll have that interaction, you'll go on. So you can help, make someone's day just by being empathetic to maybe what they might be going through, asking good questions and trying to help people.
Yeah. As you think about this, it really is, I think, inspiring to think about, the lessons you've learned from your experiences and now how that you're sharing those with not only your kids, but all the kids in the world, right? Who can have access to your books. It's wonderful. Let's talk about the book. We've got just a minute left. How do people find the book? Where's the best place to get it? Where can they learn more? If they want you to come speak to a school, what's the protocol? Give us kind of the rundown.
Yep. So if you want to buy the book, it's available wherever books are sold. So Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Walmart. You can go to astraydogforchristmas.com. We have links if you're looking to buy it online. There are it'll be in bookstores. You'll be able to look for it. If you'd like to connect with me and, maybe figure something out, if you're a rescue or a school or something where you think we could collaborate or you just have a question, I'm all over social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram as JJ from the Bronx, grew up in New York. And then Suzy is on Instagram, Susan, SUZYN, Pupman, PUPMAN, named after Yankees radio announcer Susan Waldman. And you can reach us there as well. And we've got contact information in our bios.
Fantastic. Well, again, Jack, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. We wish you every success with the book and hope millions of children are blessed by the opportunity to read that inspiring story.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
All righty. Now, let's do some good.